So Timbaland filmed himself taking a beat from some other producer who he didn't credit, who he didn't ask for permission, and then making a new version of that beat that sounded pretty much identical to the original simply by dropping it into Suno. The producer who made that original beat isn't happy about it. A lot of producers in the producer community aren't happy about it. Yo, I was about to upload this video and then I realized that new information had just come out. So I was going to talk about Timbaland and the whole K-Fresh situation where he essentially goes on live, takes K-Fresh's beat, violates Suno's terms of service publicly.
Their terms of service says, before you can upload this audio, I must certify that I own or exclusively control all rights in any content I will upload. He's doing this in a public forum for other people to emulate because there's a lot of people that look up to him.
Right.
But he just put out a statement. Top music attorney is on it. Let's watch your video.
Timbaland put out a joint statement with his attorney regarding the K-Fresh situation.
Timbaland is known for going live and speaking on his own behalf, but now he has legal counsel, which is smart.
Timbaland says, I apologize. I didn't do my due diligence before uploading the song into Suno. Are you kidding me? This is literally why there are lawsuits against Suno right now, including our lawsuit on behalf of independent artists. Suno took your songs, just like Timbaland took the song, put it into Suno, which is copyright infringement. If someone makes a copy of your stuff into AI, which is what is happening, it's copyright infringement.
And this is a lawyer saying this. This is a lawyer saying this. I'm not saying this. This is an actual licensed attorney who passed the bar and has been practicing for a while.
So when Timbaland's attorney says, you know what, Timbaland violated the terms of service, but quote, did not violate the law, is wrong. What happened to K-Fresh is not okay, and this has happened now to literally tens of millions of artists.
That's all we've been saying.
And Suno admitted this is literally what it already did.
Literally. I'm going to say it like her.
It's been really cool to see all the support for K-Fresh, and so I would say if you want to support independent musicians, if you are an independent music creator, the link to the lawsuit against Suno is in my bio.
More on this later. Now, just to be clear, Timbaland is apologizing publicly to K-Fresh in response to Ryan Schmidt, who's a music attorney. He's a friend of the podcast. He is representing K-Fresh. I don't know in what capacity. I know some people are saying that K-Fresh is suing Timbaland. I don't know if that's the case. This kind of seems like a warning or like a cease and desist. Let's read this. Last week, Timbaland, who serves as Suno's strategic advisor and public ambassador, shared a troubling video in which he took K-Fresh's original song, uploaded it into Suno AI's platform, and released an unauthorized AI remix. There was no credit, no consent, no apology. There's that word, consent. People want to play around with consent. Don't get me started on that. Timbaland dismissed the public outrage by calling it a remix and a demo to showcase Suno's capabilities. So effectively what he's doing is admitting that he used K-Fresh's beat in an advertisement for Suno, which is a sync license. You can't just, correct me if I'm wrong here, you can't just sync license a beat without actually licensing it, without permission, without paying. It violated US copyright law and breached Suno's own terms of use. Now you saw that Timbaland's attorney is admitting that it breached Suno's own terms of use, but she is claiming that it did not violate US copyright law. I don't know how, but then again, Suno is also claiming that it can train on any sort of copyrighted material it wants, and somehow they're invoking the fair use defense. I don't know how any of this works. I guess these are just street rules. Never admit anything to the police. So they have a list of demands. A public apology to K-Fresh. That's what happened, sort of. Timbaland did apologize, but he did not admit legal guilt. Number 2, proof that his music has been removed from Suno's model and training data. Oh my God, there's no way. Number 3, a plan to prevent future violations by users and company representatives, including Timbaland. 4, a commitment to implement an artist opt-out process. 5, a promise that Suno and Timbaland will not use unlicensed music in future demos. This is all fair. This is all reasonable. This all is in line with copyright law. So shout out to Ryan Schmidt and K-Fresh for bringing this stuff to light in a legal context. Things are about to get a little more serious, at least in terms of the dialogue. It's no longer just going to be hot takes because there are actual lawyers involved. There are actual victims that are speaking out, and the conversation is now changing. A lot of people have been commenting and reaching out to me and telling me that this is way bigger than Timbaland. This isn't even about Timbaland. Including Ray Daniels in a new video. He went live and called me broke and a hater and all these other names. And he makes the point that AI is the problem, Timbaland's not the problem. And I absolutely agree with that. It's not about Timbaland. We're directing a lot of energy, negative energy, towards Timbaland. Timbaland didn't create AI. He barely understands it. Let him tell it. He doesn't own the platform Suno. He claims he's not training Suno or helping Suno train on copyrighted materials. I have no reason not to believe that. The actual owner of Suno, and this is what I said about the whole situation months ago in an episode of the MEC podcast, during which we watch an interview with Mikey Schulman, who's the actual CEO of Suno. That guy is like a movie villain. He's
I think the majority of people don't enjoy the majority of the time they spend making music.
That comment is just so out of pocket.
I thought there was going to be more to actually make it work together.
When people say we need gatekeeping, there we go. And I wasn't giving Timbaland a pass. He's a grown-ass man. I wasn't saying, okay, he doesn't know better. Of course he knows better. Because you can't look at the owner of the company you have a partnership with, see them make all of these anti-artist statements, anti-music statements, and then say, yeah, let me be the face of your company. Let me be the face of your demonic philosophy and not bear some responsibility. If you're one of those weird people who still likes making music by collaborating with other human beings rather than an AI platform, yeah, join the Patreon, join the private Discord. I'm always uploading collab opportunities. Shout out to everyone that's joined. It's still new. This is month 3. So it's still a pretty small community. When you look at the Patreon, you see there are like 100 users. A lot of those are free users. They don't have access to the private Discord. So anyone with a paid membership gets access. If you have one of the higher membership tiers, either of the two, the next sample pack, multi-kit, drum pack that I drop, which is coming very soon, will be yours for free. And every other pack that I drop after that will be yours for free as well. Patreon.com/DJPayne1. The link is below as well. Looking forward to seeing you in the Patreon. However, my question was always this. Why is Timbaland willing to piss off so many of his fans, supporters, and colleagues? And why is he so willing to go against so many other artists, so many other musicians like Stevie Wonder, Doechii, Smokey Robinson, and Chuck D, who have signed open letters against generative AI? What does he know that we don't know? Well, I have my answer, and it's not good. I have a different experience with Timbaland, a good experience, but one that most other producers can't speak on because they don't have that experience. I'm actually in the process of ordering the plaque. I recently had a hit song that interpolates an original Timbaland melody. So a lot of producers would say, all right, there's no difference between me taking a melody from Timbaland and making a new beat out of it, or me sampling something, and what AI is doing. I'm a massive hypocrite for criticizing generative AI for training on copyrighted songs, millions, if not billions of copyrighted songs, because I've been influenced by Timbaland directly. So I'm just the same as AI, right? When I was a kid, you know how many albums that Timbaland produced or that he released under his own artist name that I bought, and how many times I studied his production because he's a great. I'm just as bad. Let people tell it I'm just as bad as AI because I'm doing the same thing. Here's the difference. Timbaland needed to clear that melody. We had to ask for permission. And as a result, he got ownership in the song, more ownership than I actually have in the song, which is perfectly fine with me. I think that's completely fair. It was his melody first. To me, that's how hip hop culture works. We're always replaying the music and sampling the music that we grew up listening to or that we grew up hearing our parents listen to. And the legal consequences of that is either losing all of your equity in the song or sharing it with the original creator. In this case, Timbaland was fair about it, for sharing the equity. It would be absolutely unfair if I had just taken his melody and the label had released the song and not asked for his permission, not given him any sort of splits, nothing like that, not negotiated with him. It actually would have been illegal. And there's no way he would have let that slide, and he shouldn't. So why is he endorsing Suno, a platform that takes melodies and lyrics and full songs and chord progressions and drum patterns from actual humans and then sells them back to us without paying us, actually making us pay for them, and without giving us any sort of equity in these products that it creates? Again, what does Timbaland know that we don't know? Here's what I believe is the real reason Timbaland is so willing to risk his reputation for Suno. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. The source here is Bloomberg. Now remember, the RIAA, on behalf of all 3 major labels, has been involved in this ongoing lawsuit against both Suno, Udio, and because they train their AI platforms on billions of copyrighted songs, including copyrighted songs owned by these major labels. Now, the labels said, we're fighting for the musicians. They may drop that lawsuit against the AI platforms and instead negotiate licensing deals that could resolve billion-dollar lawsuits and establish standards for how artists are compensated by AI firms. We called this. We said this months ago. The labels are seeking licensing fees and equity stakes in those startups, creating a framework for compensating artists whose works is used in training whose work is used in training. The companies sued both Udio and Suno in 2024 for copyright infringement, seeking up to $150,000 per work infringed, which would have been more money than is on the planet. A deal would reportedly put an end to the lawsuits, with the negotiations happening in parallel and creating a race between firms to strike the first deal. Of course, this is capitalism. So this is much like what happened with Spotify, right? Spotify comes along and the labels say, all right, we're going to negotiate on behalf of all the artists. But ultimately what the labels did is they just took the biggest piece themselves, which is what's obviously going to happen here. They have the most money. So what they're going to tell us is, hey, we're fighting for the artists. We're fighting for all of you musicians out there. I'm not signed to a label. Why are the labels able to negotiate on my behalf? This happens all the time. It happens every time. And once they strike a deal, I have no say in the deal, but the terms of their deal are going to affect me. So whatever happens, whatever they negotiate, so like labels negotiated the splits and the royalty rates with Spotify, right? I wasn't a part of that conversation. You weren't a part of that conversation. But now that we use Spotify and put our music on there, the terms that the labels negotiated with Spotify are the terms that we now have to live by. It's fucked up. So Timbaland is just aligning himself with these power players. Let's say worst case scenario, they destroy the music business. Well, at least Timbaland will be getting paid because he has a position at probably the biggest generative AI company on the planet. And he's not the only producer invested in AI. will.i.am is speaking on this. He's not the only producer other than Timbaland invested in AI either. But he's the most outspoken. Again, that doesn't mean he deserves all of this criticism. And I would love if the conversation moved a little bit more towards the people behind AI and not Timbaland. So long term, how will this affect me or you? Chances are it probably already has. Someone recently left this comment on my YouTube who said, I heard a few DJ Pain 1 beat tags on a few of the beats generated through Suno. I wonder, is Suno paying you guys anything? No. I mean, the one positive thing maybe is that once the labels negotiate a deal with Suno, that much like Spotify, because I'm not signed to a label, I'll be able to control 100% of whatever little equity and money Suno is going to start paying to people whose music is being used to train their AI. It's going to be worse for people who are signed to labels, honestly, because they have already sold their sound recording copyrights to the labels, and they've probably sold a lot of their publishing to publishing companies. But I don't think this is a great outcome. Now, what's even crazier, this is crazy. Shout out to Michael. He just tagged Curtis King and I in a tweet. It says, I watched videos from many producers like DJ Pain 1 and Curtis King about Suno, and I thought the situation is crazy. Then I saw an ad for Mareka, which literally is telling people to upload beats so it can make an instrumental for you based on that beat. Now, Mareka, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, is a generative AI platform. And here is allegedly one of their advertisements.
Got bars, but no beat? With Mareka, you don't need a producer. Just upload a beat you like, tap create, and let the AI generate a brand new instrumental just for you.
You heard what they said right there. You don't need a producer. So a lot of producers are saying AI is not out to replace us. AI is not here to replace us. It's here to help us. How the fuck is this helping? And here's what else it says. You really need to pay attention to this. You upload a beat you like. You upload a beat you like. You don't need a producer. Just take a beat that you like and upload it to Mareka, right? And let the AI generate a brand new instrumental just for you. Hey, I like a lot of instrumentals. I might start rapping tomorrow. I love Take Keith's production. Can I just take a Take Keith beat and upload it into Mareka? That's what they're saying in the ad. Just take a beat that I love, upload it, it'll generate a new beat for me. Here's the problem with that. Aside from it obviously being copyright infringement, these are Mareka's terms and service. I swear they make this shit unreadable on purpose so you don't actually read the terms. But this is important. Under the intellectual property rights, anyone using Mareka needs to know this. When you generate a beat using their service, they grant you a license to use such output solely for your lawful internal and non-commercial purposes, provided that you give attribution credit to Mareka in each case. So not only are you giving the AI platform credit for stealing someone else's beat that you just uploaded without their permission, you can't use it commercially. You can't upload that to Spotify. You can't upload it to YouTube. You can use it for your internal non-commercial. I guess that means like when your nephew has a birthday party, you can perform the song there in the kitchen. I don't know. And here's what's even more hilarious, user content. With respect to the recording, video files, and other content, or other materials you upload or post, you represent and warrant that you own all right, title, and interest in and to such user content, including without limitations, all copyrights and rights of publicity contained therein. So what they said was just upload a beat you like. And that's the hook. That's to get you to upload whatever beat, because they know you're not going to read the terms. Just upload a beat that you like, and their platform will create a brand new beat for you. When you read the terms, you can't just upload a beat that you like. You have to have uploaded a beat that either you created and own 100% of, or that you own 100% of and have permission from the original creator of that beat to upload. And once you've uploaded that beat and they've generated a new copycat beat, well, you can't use that commercially. So what's the point? Keep worshiping these tech bros, man. All the lies, all the inconsistencies, all the contingencies, all the caveats. Come on, we're really co-signing this. Producers are really defending this, saying this is just a tool. This is going to help us. The advertisement for Mareka and the CEO of Suno say that they want to replace professional, talented musicians. They want to replace you in no uncertain terms. When you eliminate humans, you no longer have to pay those humans, which increases your profit margin. That's how business works. So what do? Top music attorney, the girl with the pearls. I don't mean that disrespectfully. Girl just rhymes with pearls. It doesn't rhyme with women, but she's a grown-ass woman. She is suing.
I'm suing Suno and Udio, and I have filed class action lawsuits against these companies on behalf of all independent artists, songwriters, and music producers. You had your music stolen, taken, without authorization or compensation.
And we did. And this is why I don't understand the people who are defending what these platforms are doing. They seem naive at best, or at worst, completely moronic. But I just had to look up to see whether Suno AI does train on non-user uploaded songs, to see if what Timbaland was doing with the K-Fresh beat, if that was contributing to Suno's training model. Apparently it isn't. But while Suno allows users to upload audio to be used as a starting point for new song generation, the audio is not used to train the underlying AI model. Suno's AI model is trained on a vast data set of existing music, including copyrighted material. This is just a known fact. They have stated that essentially all music files of reasonable quality that are acceptable on the open internet, abiding by paywalls, who gives a fuck? The open internet is YouTube. I don't know if Spotify counts, but all the music that's on Spotify is on YouTube too. So it's everything. BeatStars, TrackTrain, SoundCloud, all of that stuff is accessible on the open internet. So they've trained on all of it. So this is going to be a wild ride. Shout out to Top Music Attorney for this class action lawsuit. Wishing her lots of success, because trust me, man, if they're coming at me for what I'm saying and she's taking on the giants with the stone, they are going to come after her. Appreciate you tuning in. Much success to you. Peace.